Was it a clash of egos, a quest for recognition, or something more profound that led Sadio Mané to walk away from Liverpool's hallowed Anfield turf? For years, he was one-third of a legendary trio that redefined attacking football, bringing glory to Merseyside. But behind the dazzling goals and iconic victories, cracks began to form. What really caused this brotherhood to break apart? The devastating news that Sadio Mané had left the hallowed Anfield pitch in Liverpool during the summer of 2022 left fans in a state of disbelief. However, what caused this fraternity that appeared to be impenetrable to come apart? This explanation can be found in a combination of personal reasons, financial disparities, and ambition, which together offer a story that is both complicated and emotional. The three most dangerous front members. Liverpool's attacking trident, which consisted of Mané, Salah, and Firmino, was the crowning achievement of excellence for a period of 5 magnificent years. These three individuals guided Liverpool to extraordinary heights, including the long-awaited Premier League title in 2020 and the Champions League victory in 2019. Both of these accomplishments were accomplished under the direction of Jurgen Klopp. The unrelenting work rate and clinical finishing of Mané were a perfect balance to Salah's prolific goal scoring and Firmino's inventiveness in the creative process. On the pitch, they appeared to have a seemingly telepathic understanding of one another, which allowed them to create unforgettable moments that cemented their place in the annals of Liverpool mythology. It is impossible to deny the contributions that Sadio Mané made to Liverpool. His total of 120 goals scored in 269 matches made him one of the most accomplished attackers in the history of the club. He was an extremely useful asset due to his versatility, which allowed him to play across the front line. Nevertheless, despite the enormous contributions he made, rumors of stress began to circulate among the members of the military unit. While both players continued to insist that there was no personal feud between them, their interactions on the field occasionally gave the impression that this was not the case. In spite of their professional manner, it appeared as though they were engaged in a covert competition for the spotlight. Inequality in financial matters. The monetary aspect of Mané's departure is something that cannot be skipped over. A rich new contract was offered to Salah by Liverpool in 2022, making him one of the highest-paid players in the Premier League. In this way, it was made quite obvious that Salah was the focal point of the club. According to reports, Mané, who played an equally important role in Liverpool's triumph, thought they were underappreciated and neglected. Being a player of Mané's caliber, it was difficult to understand the disparity between the two. Not only was this discrepancy in financial resources about money, but it was also about public recognition. It's possible that this imbalance was the seed that fertilized the seeds of uncertainty that eventually prompted Mané to look for a new beginning somewhere else, a new obstacle to overcome. Aside from the financial considerations, Mané yearned for a fresh challenge. After achieving success with Liverpool in England and Europe, he desired to demonstrate his worth in a setting that was not dominated by Salah. The opportunity to take charge of the team, and the prestige of being the head coach of one of the most successful teams in Europe. The pitch that Bayern presented was appealing. Not only did they provide monetary compensation, but they also made the promise of being the unrivaled talisman of the squad. This presented Mané with the possibility to establish his own legacy. Shifts in tactic and experiences of frustration. The departure of Mané was not solely motivated by financial considerations or ambition. Rather, it was also affected by modifications in Liverpool's tactical approach. Klopp's strategies underwent a transformation in order to accommodate new players, such as Luis Diaz. The natural synergy that Mané shared with Salah and Firmino was disturbed when he was given the job of a makeshift center forward, which deprived him of the flexibility and fluidity that had made him such a dangerous player. The Champions League final match versus Real Madrid in 2022 served as a significant turning point in the team's history. In a moment that was intended to be another crowning moment for Liverpool, Mané maintained a low profile. The typical tenacity and hunger that he possessed were conspicuously gone, and in their place was a performance that gave the impression that he was already considering life outside Manchester United. The reaction of fans and their legacy. The departure of Mané caused Liverpool fans to be very split. It was an instance of a player putting their own personal desire ahead of their devotion, and for some people, it seemed like a betrayal. After giving his best for the club, it was a natural move for some people, since he was a world-class talent who was looking for other opportunities. No matter how much discussion there is no disputing the impact that Mané has had on Liverpool. He was a cornerstone of one of the most successful times in the history of the club, when an era comes to an end. Due to Mané's departure, Liverpool's legendary front three was no longer in existence. As of the year 2022, the relationship between Mané, Salah, and Firmino had caused defenses all over Europe to be terrified, but the charm was beginning to wear off. It would never be simple to find a suitable replacement for a player like Mané. Even though Liverpool made a swift move to acquire talented players such as Luis Diaz and Darwin Núñez, the absence of Mané's presence was a noticeable hole, moving onward and upward. While Liverpool went through the process of adjusting to life without Mané, the focus shifted to Salah. If the Egyptian monarch did not have his faithful lieutenants, would he be able to continue attaining his amazing scoring feats? After everything was said and done, Sadio Mané's exit from Liverpool was more than just a transfer. It was the conclusion of a fraternity that had characterized a whole era. His legacy has not been destroyed. This is a monument to the enormous contributions he made and the wonderful memories he provided. It is important to remember that even in the sport of football, the relationships that bind players together can be weak, as Sadio Mané's experience demonstrates. It is inevitable that even the most robust brotherhoods will eventually come to an end. Don't miss out on more deep dives into football's biggest stories. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you're always in the know.